station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Warm, humid afternoon here in Minneapolis. The first half of the 2015 season comes to a close. We welcome you to Target Field. One game to go till the All-Star break. Final game of the series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for Game 4 in this series. Well, the Tigers, Rod, certainly need a victory today if they can get a win. They split the series. A little bit of momentum going to the All-Star break.
You know, that loss just a couple of nights ago was absolutely demoralizing for the Tigers, and their manager, Paul Molitor, said as much. He said, we had a difficult time of beating Detroit until a couple of days ago. Now Minnesota has confidence. Tigers desperately need to step up. They need to win this game to go into the second half with a positive taste in their mouth.
And they also need Shane Green to pitch well in this ball game today. He comes up from AAA Toledo. Really kind of a mixed bag for Shane. Good, bad. We're trying to figure out what he is.
Oh, I know, right? We saw him last year. He was one of the best young pitchers that we saw in the American League. I talked to Alex Avila before the game today. He said he caught him when he was down on his rehab assignment down in the minor leagues. What Shane needs to do is stay out of the middle of the plate. His fastballs had flattened out before they sent him down to the minor leagues. He is much, much better when he gets to that particular arm slot, which allows him to throw downhill. He's got much better movement on everything that he throws. That's the Shane Green we saw last year. That's the Shane Green that we watched the first 3 games of this season. They desperately need him back because if there's one issue with this team, it has to be in the starting rotation.
Yeah, and offense has not been an issue. When you take a look at some of the numbers the Tigers' offense has been able to pile up, it's been pretty impressive. The Tigers are first in the majors in batting average, on-base percentage, and really, even without Miggy in the lineup, they've done pretty well, 324. But they still need to continue to swing the bats and get that pitching straightened out.
They really do. I mean, some guys have really stepped up here in the last couple of weeks. Castellanos has really stepped up. Anthony Gose has really stepped up. When the team was performing at the first half of the season, those guys were getting on base with regularity. They need to keep Kinsler going, too, because we know what the middle of the batting order does. They get busy every day.
Well, how about the Torrey Hunter effect? Obviously, with the Tigers, more of a veteran team. Here with the Minnesota Twins, a younger team, he seems to have a huge impact.
Well, they have the veteran manager and Paul Molitor on the bench. And then they have the veteran Torrey Hunter, who has a lot of fun. We're going to talk about what he does on the field. He is playing like he's 29 years old instead of 39 years old. The ball he hit yesterday was incredible for a guy to generate that kind of bat speed, but he keeps himself in great shape. That's the reason why he's still able to play on both sides of the ball. He's won a ton of gold gloves playing center field, now playing right field, and performing at a very high level, and probably having the most fun that he has had in his career. And he told me just that the other day. He's having tons of fun with these young kids.
All right, what do you say we get a win before the break?
We need a win bad,
buddy.
buddy.
Let's do it. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios, check in with Trevor Thompson. But coming up in this one here today, Tigers trying to go on a high note here in the first half. Stay with us. Tigers Twins, Game 4 of the series, coming up next. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Jeep, find your summer of adventure with great deals at the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. And by Johnsonville Smoked Brats. Johnsonville sausage is all we do. Back here in Minneapolis, the Tigers and the Twins rounding out this 4-game series. The Twins have won 2 of the first 3, and a nice afternoon for baseball here before the ball game this afternoon. Dave Dombrowski, the general manager of the Tigers, met with the media, and with more on whether or not the Tigers will be buyers or sellers, let's check in with Mickey York.
Yeah, Mario, I had a wide-ranging conversation with Dave Dombrowski this morning. Talked about everything from the first half of the season to Brad Ausmus and the inconsistencies with the pitching. The topic of the trade deadline came up as far as the Tigers' role as buyers or sellers, and at this point, Dombrowski isn't willing to rule out anything.
It's a lot of parity right now, a lot of competitive balance. I think the only way is things unanticipated happen. All of a sudden, if you lose 11 games in a row, from any club perspective going into that, well, that changes how you feel. If you win 11 games in a row, it changes how you feel. If you can continue to play the way you have been, I don't think it changes very much at all. So I really don't anticipate that. I anticipate us being in a position where we do everything we can to try to continue to win a world championship.
Yeah, I think the Tigers would be shocked if they are selling at the trade deadline, but it really depends on how well they start the second half. As Dombrowski said, they haven't gotten on a roll yet, and they need to here coming out of the break. Mario?
All right, Mick, thanks. Well, let's hope the Tigers can start that roll with a victory here this afternoon as they square off against the Twins with a lineup that looks like this, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Ian Kinsler to start things off, followed by Yoenis Cespedes, who's had a big series. Victor Martinez, the DH, All-Star J.D. Martinez in right, Sevilla Castellanos, Kraus, Gose, and Iglesias rounding it out for the Detroit Tigers. And they are facing the right-hander Kyle Gibson today.
Gibson has had a lot of success this year, but he has had very little success against the Tigers in his career. He's got a really good sinker, and when he's right, that sinker is at the bottom of the strike zone. He's getting lots of ground balls. He also has a changeup he's using more frequently, and he also has a really nice slider to keep the right-handers off balance. Let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. Torrey Hunter playing the afternoon game after another afternoon game yesterday. Usually Torrey gets at least one day off at age 39. But Brian Dozier, he is going to the All-Star game. They announced that yesterday with Jose Bautista not able to start the game. Dozier was added to the American League roster and well-deserving.
So we are ready for baseball here this afternoon. There is the newest All-Star for the Minnesota Twins. He will join Glenn Perkins, their closer, as the two Twins headed to Cincinnati after this one is done today. Clouds moving in, which has kept the sunlight away from the ballpark, but still very warm and humid this afternoon as Ian Kinsler steps into the batter's box. Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez. Tigers dropped the game yesterday, and they've fallen in the first, or 2 of the first 3. Gibson set to go to work, and he fires outside. This one is underway today.
And Tigers' game plan coming in this afternoon against Gibson, make him get that fastball up in the strike zone, lay off those 2 seamers that are south of the knees, and force him to throw you some 4-seamers.
Ian has hit safely now in his last 4, 5 for 13 in the series for the Tigers. He's been elevated to that leadoff slot, the new structure in the Tigers offense, which has gotten them going. Brad Ausmus making a change about a week and a half ago, and the Tigers have responded offensively. The 1-1 is grounded foul. It is 83 degrees at game time today.
Not too bad. A little humid, though.
A little bit humid. It's right. Walked out of the hotel today. I thought, man, this is a lot different than the first 2 games or 3 games in the series. Much more humidity. Gibson ready with the 1-2. Hit the other way and threw a base hit. Kinsler goes the opposite field. Leadoff single for the Tigers.
That's exactly what the game plan was for the Tigers hitters coming in. Gibson very good when he's at the bottom of the strike zone, but when he makes a mistake up there with that 2-seam fastball, as he does there, where it moves laterally east to west in the strike zone and not north to south, you've got to make him pay. Also, outstanding approach by Kinsler, not trying to pull that 2-seam fastball, hitting it the opposite direction.
Here is the number 2 hitter, Yoenis Cespedes. At 299 now, Cespedes has had a huge series. And he looks at strike 1.
Since Yoenis came to the movies back in 2012 with the Oakland Athletics, they really have not been able to get him out. 27 games, 375 against Minnesota.
Yeah, this series has been no different. 7 for 14. That one came inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cespedes.
It appeared to me that yesterday the Tigers were still reeling from that devastating loss that they took on Friday night, where they lost that 5-run lead in the 9th inning.
They showed a little bit of punch, though, after they fell behind 7-0, but that home run by Torrey Hunter was huge. It seemed to take, as Brad said, the wind out of the Tiger sails.
I don't know how at age 39 you can hit a ball that far.
Third deck is pretty amazing. I know we haven't seen one go that far in the games that we've broadcast here. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Yoenis Cespedes, just underway here in game 4 in the series. And a quick toss back, Kinsler back in there. Gibson this year has induced 15 double play balls on the ground. Those are in his starts. 15 of 17 starts, I should say. But when you total them up, he and his teammate, who we saw earlier in the series, Pelfrey, among the top 2. So 20 for Pelfrey, and Gibson has 19. So this is part of what the Twins do. They may not strike out a lot of batters, but they find their ways into double plays and pitch to contact quite a bit. Now the 1-2 rolled slowly and foul, third base side.
Neil Allen, the pitching coach of the Minnesota Twins, has actually been trying to encourage Gibson to go for strikeouts every now and then. It's wonderful to have that signature pitch, which is the 2-seamer that gets a lot of ground balls, but he says so many times Gibson goes for the weak contact when he has the stuff to get a strikeout with a runner on third base, less than 2 outs. So they're encouraging him to do that a little bit more often too.
Again, the 1-2 backed him out of there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But you're kind of playing into his hands if you're Ian Kinsler, and you have not been able to vacate a first base as of yet because he does throw so many ground balls. But apparently Ian can't get a good enough jump to steal a bag here.
He'll draw another throw and dive back in there. Leadoff single by Kinsler, starting this one off. Held there by Mauer. There are the percentages for Ian. 6 out of 10 this year. 2-2 is fouled off, just got a piece of it, knocks it out of the glove of the catcher Fryer.
At 93, with the built-in height advantage of Gibson, who's very tall and slender fella on the mound, when he gets in that proper arm slot, look at the movement on that 2-seam fastball. Very difficult to barrel up.
6 feet 6 inches tall. Greenfield, Indiana. Kyle Gibson, 27 years old. Victor Martinez waiting on deck.
It's no coincidence that Gibson able to throw so many ground ball double plays. 1, he's got the real good sinker, and 2, he's done a nice job at making sure Kinsler doesn't venture too far off first base.
Another one rolled back into the seats.
Quite a battle here turned in by Yoenis.
Good battle indeed. And in this at bat, 8 pitches. Number 9 about to come up.
everything that good, hard two-seam fastball running in on the hands off the plate to Cespedes in this 8-pitch at bat.
Grounded to third, foul. That one just outside of the line. So the battle continues with Victor Martinez on deck. What do you think on that last ground ball down there, Rod? Do you think you should have laid out for that one?
Well, he got that white shirt on. You know what I mean? He's awfully clean. They didn't want to get it dirty. Not the first inning.
That's the reason, the white shirt. 2-2 on Cespedes. Bouncing ball third base side. This is a 5-4-3 double play. Got another one. It's what he does, and Gibson gets 2 for the price of 1. 2 gone.
Fastball after fastball thrown by Gibson on the inner third of home plate to Yoenis Cespedes. He finally gets contact right to Trevor Plouffe. 2-hopper. Nice feed to Dozier. Very easy for Dozier to turn it over. It's fascinating, but give Gibson a lot of credit. He kept Kinsler close enough to where Kinsler was not comfortable trying to force the issue by stealing second.
20th double play induced by the right-hander Gibson. Now Victor Martinez stands in. 272 batting average for Victor. He'll take strike 1. Martinez was ejected from yesterday's game by Marty Foster, who is the home plate umpire, for arguing balls and strikes. Here's the shift that they will play against Martinez. Up and in. Backed him out of there. 1-1. Victor 3 out of 12 in the series. He's had 11 hits on this road trip, and a good portion of those came in that 3-game series against Seattle. Drill to center field, and on the run is Hicks to make the play, and the side retired. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Here come the Twins in the bottom of the first. For the first here in Minneapolis today, new All-Star Brian Dozier will start things off for the Minnesota Twins. Their lineup today presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Dozier, Hunter, Mauer in the top 3 spots. Sano, the DH again. Plouffe in his last 24 at home against the Tigers has been really good. Rosario's in left. Hicks, Fryer, Santana rounding it out for Paul Molitor's ball club. And today's starting pitcher is Shane Green, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Shane Green had 3 sensational starts to start the year, but then he kind of sputtered along to the tune of a 5.82 ERA. He has made 5 starts down in the minor leagues, the last couple much better than the last 2. We'll see how Avila handles Shane Green this afternoon.
Dozier leads it off and rips one foul down the third base line. Dozier 3 out of 13 in the series, 4 RBIs, including the big game-winning home run 2 nights ago here.
Green's got a good fastball. He'll top out at about 94 miles an hour, but he's at his best when he's 90, 91.
Dozier tried to lay that one down, and the count is 0-2.
When he's 90, 91, he gets much better movement down in the strike zone with his two-seam fastball. They wanted him to work on his changeup down in the minor leagues, which I was told he did, and also his slider. So we should see better changeups today and also better sliders thrown by Shane Green.
Well, we know he can be good because at the start of the year he was as good as anybody in baseball. So it's in there. The Tigers need him to get back to that stretch that he had at the start of the year, which included a really good game against these Twins. There's a slow roller hit toward third. Castellanos ranging left. And his throw is just in time. Dozier nearly beat it out. One away.
I think Castellanos thought that he was going to get Dozier by a pretty good margin because that was a routine ground ball to his left. But Dozier, as we know, always busting it down that line and nearly beat it out.
Twins trying to decide whether or not to challenge this. Well played umpire Mark Wegner waiting on Paul Molitor.
Good challenge.
Wow. First batter of the first inning for the Twins, and they're challenging. So we'll see if the call stands. Right now the call on the field is out at first base. Twins saw something in the replays that they had which seemed to indicate that Dozier beat the throw. Here's another look at that ground ball and that bang bang play. It's a pretty risky challenge to take here this early in the game on a play that's that close. Should Dozier get a base hit out of this, it would be his 4th hit of this series. The time in which they're taking here to decide this seems to indicate it's a really tough one to call. And in past history, they have not overturned the call on the field when it's that close.
Right.
But who knows? He's out. So that didn't work out well for the Twins. Dozier is retired, 5-3, 1 gone.
And the challenge is now lost for Paul Molitor.
Yeah, normally something that close, I think they pretty much stick with the call on the field. Here's Hunter. Torrey takes the ball low.
It's almost like to me that they've kind of resolved in their minds in New York. If we have to slow it down to the slowest possible frame that we need to slow it down to determine the call, we're going to give the umpire the benefit of the doubt. That's on the play that has to call it full speed.
Yeah, I would agree. That certainly has been the way it's gone. Mike Winters is the first base umpire today, made that call. Here's the 2-0. Torrey takes a rip, 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's a breaking ball there thrown by Green, and you can see how Torrey swung at that particular pitch. He's got to get it down, but that's the pitch they had him working on when he was down in the minors. It's got nice action to it, but you need to get some depth to it.
3-1 on Hunter.
Avila said that he caught Shane Green when he was down on his rehab assignment down in Toledo. Said he looked good. Fastball had some life on it.
And he walked him. They will appeal. Did not go. 1 out, base on balls. It'll bring up Joe Mauer. Mauer at 275 has hit safely in 8 consecutive games.
Shane Green had issues with left-handed batters before being demoted down to the minor leagues. Left-handers hitting .340 against Shane Green. Right-handers only .225.
Here's how they play Mauer. 1 on, 1 out. Joe having one of the finer first halves he has had in the last few seasons. He'll take a ball outside, 1-0.
And with Torrey batting second and Dozier, the leadoff hitter, having the kind of seasons that they're having, Mauer always hitting with runners in scoring position, and he's driven in quite a few runs.
Well, he's had a total of 42 here in the first half, which makes it his biggest first half for RBI since 2006. Of course, he has battled injuries along the way between then and now. Back in 06, he had 45 at the break and 42 right now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mauer. He's got a double, 3 hits in the series. And Green missed it inside. Mauer is 4 doubles shy of tying Tony Oliva on their all-time doubles list for second all-time. So Mauer climbing that list. Here's the 2-1. Outside 3-1, and now Shane has gone behind a couple of hitters. In his first 3 starts, Green had wins over Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and Chicago, and in that stretch had allowed just 2 runs, and only one of those was earned. High fly ball, left center field, hit well. Ghost is on the move. Cespedes is on the move. Ghost diving try. Anthony, what a catch! Ghost in left center field takes a double away from Joe Mauer.
He has as much range in center field as any center fielder in the game. He gets great jumps on those fly balls. Yoenis Cespedes had no shot at catching this ball, which was slicing away from him, and here comes Ghost out of nowhere, leaving his feet on the warning track to make a superior catch. Shane Green appreciates it.
And what a major turn of events here in the first inning. If that ball goes up against the wall, probably gets a run in. Instead, it's a great diving play by Anthony Ghost. Here's Miguel Sano. He looks at strike 1. Sano in the series 3 for 11. Batting solid .394 in his major league debut this year. Jumping up from Double-A, their Double-A team in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Outstanding fastball hitter. And you want to stay out of fastball counts to Sano.
Fouled away, now it's 0-2.
He, like most big league hitters, when they know that fastball's coming, I don't care how hard you throw, they can hit it.
So Green, after falling behind Hunter and Mauer, has gone 0-2 on Sano. 1 home run, 6 RBIs so far in the big leagues. And he drills this one deep to left. Way back. Cespedes turns, and it's gone. A 2-run shot for Miguel Sano.
That is a poor 0-2 pitch. I mean, you've got to bounce it, elevate the fastball, anything but the hanging, breaking ball there to a guy that has tremendous power. Here's that breaking ball, and it's hanging right over the heart of the plate. No movement by Sano, no lower body movement, just upper body strength, able to drive that ball out of the ballpark.
That literally was all upper body. A big, strong kid, and the Twins out to a 2-0 lead today.
Yeah, that's grown man strength there.
Here's Trevor Plouffe. Sano hits his second, has 8 RBIs. Now the 0-1. Plouffe has an RBI in the series. He is 4 for 12. 259 overall. It's been a pretty solid first half for the Twins third baseman. 45 driven in. Bouncing ball to second. Will be routine there for Kinsler. Plouffe is out to retire the side, but not before Miguel Sano hits a 2-run shot. Second brings us to the Bernstein advantage. He has had really good numbers against Kyle Gibson.
7 for 17 with a double, a couple of big flies, and he's driven in 5 in the 17 prior meetings against Kyle.
Martinez overall this year, 25 home runs as he stands in to get things started. Tigers find themselves in a 2-0 hole right now.
No all-star break for JD. He is headed straight to Cincinnati from here later on today.
He does not mind one bit. He's there for the first time. So is Iglesias.
I know his family and friends, they're going to enjoy themselves when they get to Cincinnati as well. It's a nice time for a young man to make his first all-star team.
Here's the 0-1 from Gibson. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on JD. 8 hits on the road trip. He's gone 3 for 13 in this series against the Twins. Gibson gave up a single, but no damage in the first. Got a double play ball. The 0-2 is hammered to right field. That looks like it might find a gap, and it's going to drop. Base hit. Right in front of Torrey Hunter. It's a leadoff single. Second straight inning the Tigers have done that.
Well, Gibson, he makes a mistake with an 0-2 pitch, but his did not cost him 2 runs. His only cost him 1 base. The dangerous power hitter, JD Martinez. Fat ball, fastball that flattens out right over the plate in an 0-2 count. Gibson would love to have that one back.
Tigers have their second hit of the ball game as Avila stands in. Avila at 2-0-2. McCann caught yesterday. Ball 1 missing outside. And Alex now 1 for 8 of the series. Shifting to the right side as Santana, the shortstop, heads to the other side of the bag. And Avila takes a strike right at the knees. 1-1.
At some point in time, Brad's going to have to put some runners in motion, knowing that Gibson throws a lot of ground balls, which turn into double plays in these particular situations.
He stayed away.
He's got the perfect count to do so right now, if that's the way that he's thinking.
Gibson came into this game in 2 July starts, allowing just 2 earned runs in 14 innings with 14 strikeouts in that stretch.
Yeah, those 14 strikeouts, that's what got the pitching coach Neil Allen in his ear, telling him, you know what, you can strike out a lot more batters than you think you can in certain situations.
But now he's gone 3-1 on Avila. On deck, Castellanos. Avila has gone deep 3 times so far this year. 3-1 is a check swing. He went around. 3-2. Since coming off the disabled list, Avila has hit safely in 5 of 7 that he has played in.
Might be a little risky here to start Castellanos from first base with Avila in the batter's box, but we'll see what Brad's thinking.
Did not start the runner, and it's grounded foul.
JD, excuse me, on first base. Castellanos is in the on-deck circle.
Gibson had 7 strikeouts in each of his last 2 starts, Baltimore and Kansas City. He's coming into this game with a 3-game win streak. And he got him, strike 3. Avila thought it was a shade outside, but not so, says Mark Wegner.
Just about every single pitch that he threw to Avila, with the exception of one, it was outside, and that last one looked like it was a borderline strike, but given the call by Mark Wegner.
We'll bring up Nick Castellanos. 247 batting average for Castellanos, 6 home runs. Nick waves and misses 0-1. Castellanos 9 hits on this road trip. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick's brother Ryan was the 25th round pick of the Tigers this year. He started the season, he was a pitcher. Ryan is. He started the year at Gulf Coast League and recently was elevated to Lakeland, and Ryan picked up his first professional save just the other day.
Good for him.
Pretty cool thing.
That's a big jump, rookie ball over to Lakeland.
Yeah, he was dominating pretty good in rookie ball. Right in front of the plate. Fryer's still going to go to second and throws it into center field. That'll move Martinez to third. What a big break there for the Tigers.
And a horrible mistake by Fryer, who is known as a good defensive catcher. And not much offense for Fryer, but they love what he brings, his intensity on the defensive end, but he clearly made a mistake here. He's got to take us out at first base.
Fielder's choice E2. And that'll put runners at first and third now for the Tigers. We'll see if they can take advantage of this miscue.
And but Gibson, as we well documented, still only 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam with that power sinker that he has been featuring here today and really all season.
The Twins had not committed an error in 10 straight games. That streak will come to an end today. Ball 1 to Krause. Mark Krause is just 2 for 15 as a Tiger. He joined Detroit in Seattle at the start of this road trip. Martinez and Castellanos, the base runners. Krause hits a ground ball to short. Santana flips to second one. Relay is going to be late. The little bobble there cost them the double play. The Tigers get a run.
Ball not hit hard off the bat of Krause, but once not fielded cleanly by the shortstop Santana by the time he gets to Dozier. Not enough time to get the double play turn. You said Krause is a former football player, right?
Yeah, in fact, he had scholarship offers to play in the MAC, Mid-American Conference, coming out of high school. Big kid. He said in those days, a little bit speedier. I was a little bit thinner those days. But then again, weren't we all?
Right. We all had our moments.
Anthony Ghost batting.
Ghost has gotten that batting average up to 282 now. After finishing out the first half very strongly, the way that he's been swinging that stick.
Bouncing ball to short. Santana will go to first, and Ghost is out. And the inning is over. Tigers get a run courtesy of an error.
This afternoon, and while we have a moment, I'll set the Tigers starting defense. It's presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. And Martinez, Ghost, Cespedes in the outfield. Third to first, you've got Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, and Krause. Avila is a catcher. Tigers last year committed 57 errors at the All-Star break. This year, only 45 miscues. So they desperately and most definitely got better defensively.
Here is Eddie Rosario to lead it off for Minnesota, and he drives one deep into right field. Going to be playable, though, and that's caught by J.D. Martinez. One pitch and one out here in the second. Two-run homer by Miguel Sano in the first. Tigers answer on a fielder's choice ground ball by Krause. Aaron Hicks batting .256 will slide into the batter's box. He's had a pretty good series. A couple of RBIs, a triple.
He looks like a totally different player this time around. First couple of times in the big leagues, he really struggled with the bat, but he's swinging the bat with much more confidence these days.
Folks here in Minnesota seem to believe that the promotion of Byron Buxton earlier this year maybe kind of lit a little bit of a fire under Hicks, who right now is playing center field because Buxton is on the DL. The 1-0. 2-0 the count.
They've got some good young outfielders. They've got Hicks. They've got Buxton. They've got the kid Oswaldo Arcia, who's in the minor leagues right now, just killing it. But they've got nowhere for him to play right now. He's already had chances up here.
It'll be 3-0 now on Hicks. So Green fell behind a couple of batters in the first, almost paid for it. Maurer hit a ball to the gap that Ghost stretched out for him in a great play. Taking on 3-0, it's 3-1. Waiting on deck, the catcher Fryer, whose error turned out to be big in the top of the second. And a strike called. Hicks trying to coax a walk from Mark Wegman.
Hey, all right, here we go. Come on. Now you battle.
Right on the edge.
It's a good pitch to hit. 3-1 count. Down and in.
And there is ball four. That'll be the second walk of the ball game already now for Shane Green.
Didn't miss by much.
The same spot, wasn't it? Last one was the strike. Here is Fryer. Fryer hasn't been up to the big leagues this year very long. He's had just 3 at-bats, 2 out of 3. Called up on July 8th. Kurt Suzuki getting the day off today. Inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Green's last start in the big leagues before being sent down was on June 10th. He lost to the Cubs, and in that game he went 3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs. The Tigers at that point decided we've got to get him straightened out, so he went down to Toledo. Started to improve in his last couple of starts down there, and here he is. Kyle Ryan was given an opportunity up here, Rod, but really in his starts just couldn't put together, you know, that start where he went 5, 6, 7 innings.
When Ryan first came up, but he was really trusting his defenders. He was throwing lots of ground balls, which Kinsler and Iglesias were gobbling up. But then, for whatever reason, he started pitching around contact and started walking people and giving up big hits because he fell behind in the count. And Tigers are still searching for that consistency in the rotation. For the most part, it's been Price and Santana, although Verlander pitched very well just a couple of days ago. They're not going anywhere unless they get that pitching staff sorted out and they get hot. They got to get hot.
Well, Verlander a couple of nights ago certainly deserved to win. I mean, he pitched outstanding baseball. Sanchez seemingly has gotten it straightened out for the most part. And Price is Price, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there's got to be a whole lot more consistency in the second half. And even Dave Dombrowski has admitted that if you want to get on a roll, you've got to have good starting pitch. Runner goes at a swing and a miss. Throw down to second. He's in time for the outs. Hicks caught stealing. Good throw by Avila.
And Paul Molitor puts the hit and run on in a 1-1 count. It's a nasty pitch thrown by Green. Nothing Fryer could do. You could tell by the way that he swung at it that it was a hit and run. Nice throw down to second base by Avila. Tag applied beautifully by Ian Kinsler. I think I said Price and Santana, but obviously I meant Price and Anibal Sanchez have been 2 that have really stepped up and pitched well in the rotation.
And by the way, it was the 4th runner caught by Avila this year. So they're empty now, 2-2 on Eric Fryer. Way outside.
And Fryer in the minors known much more for his blocking ability behind the plate, calling a game, and his good arm. Those are his strengths. The bat not necessarily has been his strength in the minors, although he was performing better this year offensively.
He'll take a walk. That is the third walk given up by Shane Reed. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live following this game. We'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and 10-piece McNuggets. Here's Danny Santana, who for the most part this year has really struggled, but has come alive in this series. 4 RBIs in the series. He had one of the big blows, the 2-run single in the 9th inning. That big comeback a couple of nights ago, which I guess is nothing new because Santana in his career is a .336 hitter versus Tigers pitching. One ball, one strike on the number 9 hitter. Twins continue to get it done here at home. They are now 30-16, which is the best home record in the American League. And suddenly they have the second best overall record in the American League. Only Kansas City has been better, and I refused to believe it until I saw the standings today. They're better than the Yankees, who lead the East, and they're better than Houston and the Angels, who are battling in the West.
Yeah, they've done a very nice job of protecting their home court under their new manager, Paul Molitor.
One-two on Santana. Shane Green gave up 2 in the first on the 2-out 2-run shot by Miguel Sano on an 0-2 pitch. Tigers got him 1 back in the second. Here's the 1-2. Drill to right field. Fryer on his way to second and now to third. They're going to stop in there. Santana took a wide turn. Throw came to the plate. It'll be second and third now for Minnesota.
Well, Danny Santana continues his very impressive numbers against Tigers pitching going back to last year. It's a 1-2 fastball that links right back over the plate. He puts a really good swing on it. You can see where JD Martinez is. He's over in right center field, which means once this ball hits grass, it's going to get all the way to the wall, which it does. And the only thing that prevented Santana from getting a triple was Fryer was on first base, clogging up the bases.
So they'll need a 2-out hit from Ryan Dozier. Second hit of the game for Minnesota. And Dozier spins away from ball 1 inside.
Green has thrown quite a few breaking balls, but they don't have much depth to them. And they're not good pitches. They're staying up in the strike zone. Most of them are staying up and into the right-handers, not getting buried down and away, which is where you want that slider.
Here's the 1-0. Dozier pops it up. A little bit big out. Kinsler going back to the grass. And that'll end the threat. No runs. They get a couple of walks and a double. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here in Minneapolis, where it's a 2-1 ball game as we go to the top of the third. In the Mississippi River in the backdrop here. What a gorgeous area of the country. Of course, we love coming to Minneapolis. The Tigers do it 3 times a year within the Central Division.
Very underrated part of the country.
Agreed. Jose Iglesias will begin things here in the Tigers third against Kyle Gibson. Bouncing ball to third base. Easy hop for Plouffe. And Iglesias is out, 1 away.
Gibson has that power sinker working early here today. He's already thrown quite a few ground balls.
Got that double play ball in the first. Nearly had another one in the second. Probably would have had it had it not been bobbled by Santana. Ian Kinsler had a single to start the game but did not score. Ian now at 270. That extended his hitting streak to 5 in a row. Kinsler had a leadoff home run earlier in the series, and that was his 32nd leadoff home run of his career. 32 of them.
There was a time when Ian Kinsler not only was hitting 30 home runs in a season, but he was also stealing 30 bases. He's done that twice. 30-30 man.
Big years with the Texas Rangers. Tigers gave up Prince Fielder to get him.
He's always been a real nice offensive player, but I did not realize how good he was at second base until he put on that Tigers uniform last year.
Gibson has gone 3-1. Cespedes waiting on deck. He pulled that one foul.
Here's that leadoff home run a couple of days ago against their starter Mike Pelfrey. One of his sinker ballers straightened out over the plate, and Ian Kinsler homer to left.
And cut the Tigers off and running. Here's the 3-2. Little nubber off the end of the bat. Foul. Kinsler, a native of Tucson, Arizona. Again, foul down that third base line.
Oh, he picked that one today. Look at it.
Nice.
Showing out.
He's getting his own replay as well.
Yeah, he redeemed himself. Look at him holding it up. I got it.
Swing and a miss. Kinsler goes down to a knee. 2 gone. Well, the Tigers play the Orioles on Sunday, July 19th at 1:08 p.m. It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under receive a free Paws coin bank. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. All that money you make, Rod, you need more banks.
You got that right. I could use a little coin bank.
Here's Cespedes. And Yoenis looks at a strike 0-1.
He did a marvelous job against Cespedes in Cespedes' first at bat. It was a 9-pitch at bat, and every single pitch was inside off the plate. Finally getting the ground ball double play off the bat of Yoenis.
'27 doubles this year for Cespedes.
And it seems like every time he makes contact against the Minnesota Twins, it's a loud sound. He has been wearing them out.
Tigers felt he should have been an all-star, and he certainly had the credentials. He was part of the final vote that eventually was won by Mike Moustakas. Yoenis 103 hits, good for 4th in the American League. Dozier was also part of that final vote, but he was added to the team with the injury to Bautista. Huge swing there by Cespedes.
Makes you wonder how they do what they do when you have a guy that's playing second base who was added. But then you have an outfielder in Bautista who went out. You would think that Cespedes would be the next outfielder in line, but you don't know how they're doing things these days. Not that Dozier doesn't deserve it.
Swing and a miss. Cespedes is out. So are the Tigers. They go 1, 2, 3 in the third. A couple of strikeouts for Kyle Gibson.
I feel like we should have played a little better. I think the other night stung a little bit, but we got to get a split in this series. Simple as that. We got game 4. We've won 1 of the 3, and if we can get a split, that'll be good.
I feel like you put yourself in a position now to play some really good baseball coming back after the break.
Well, I think we will play really good baseball. I think that I've said it many times, over 162 games, I think good teams end up having good records, and I firmly believe this is a good team.
Well, if the Tigers lose here today, they will go to the All-Star break with a 500 record. Nobody saw that coming off the start the Tigers got off to this year. 11-2 at the beginning of the season.
Brad talked about that demoralizing loss on Friday night. Stung a little bit. It stung a lot of bit.
Yeah.
That was a bad loss.
That is drilled foul by Torrey Hunter.
For a couple different reasons. And their manager, Paul Molitor, even said so. He said before we were able to come back in the 9th inning on Friday night, we did not believe that we could beat this team. But after beating them that particular night, they came out, they handled the Tigers yesterday. Now Minnesota is playing with a lot of confidence against Detroit.
Popped up. Kinsler cruising over. Hunter is out. Well, after that loss by the Tigers, I know a lot of their players were putting on a brave face. I mean, Avila said, look, it's not debilitating. We come out, we play good tomorrow, get another win tomorrow, and we're back on track. But you can't lose a game like that without losing some sleep that day.
Man, I saw a stat, and it's probably true, that was the first time in over 1,000 games dating back to last year where a team went into the 9th inning with a 5-run lead and lost the game. The first time.
Seems improbable, but it happened. Mauer sends a ground ball right to Kinsler. And there are 2 gone. Time for a game break now with Johnny Kane. All right, Johnny, thanks. Doesn't appear the Royals are slowing down, does it?
Oh, they're not coming back to the pack. You can write that down, partner.
They were 51-34 coming into play today, owning a 4.5 game lead on the Twins, 8 up on the Tigers.
Arguably the best all-around team in baseball, and their bullpen is second to none.
0-1 on Miguel Sano. I still wonder about the Royals, and you talk about that bullpen and their starting rotation. I mean, when September rolls around, if that bullpen has thrown a lot of innings, that's going to have an effect on them.
They need a starter, maybe even a couple of different starters. They just got Danny Duffy back, though.
They did, and Ventura,
but they could use another starter. I can see the Kansas City Royals making a push for somebody like Johnny Cueto if the Reds are in selling mood.
The 1-2. Got him. Strike 3. Green struck him out this time. 1, 2, 3 thirds. So Shane gets it straightened out. 3 in the books here in Minneapolis.
Ago to see Justin Verlander go out and do what he did. He pitched 8 innings of pretty good baseball, giving up just 1 run, and most of the pitches that he threw were not over the heart of the plate. The breaking ball was much better. Threw some nice fading change-ups in. A lot of people watching Justin Verlander said he looked as good as they've seen him in the last couple of years during the regular season.
Well, the Tigers coming up now here in the 4th inning. They're down by a run, 2-1. It'll be Martinez, and Avila. Victor line to center field. Back in the first is 0 for 1. And now 3 for 13 in the series. They play him to pull.
It's a real nice swing back fastball there thrown by Gibson. He started that ball right at Victor, in the natural tailing action on the pitch allowed him to come back to catch the inside corner.
One is outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Martinez is coming off the disabled list, 341, which has raised his average to the 270 range. High fly ball center field. Routine for Aaron Hicks. 1 out. What you got on the All-Star game here? The Tigers, they will send Cabrera, Iglesias, Martinez, and Price.
All very deserving. Yeah, David Price going for the 5th time. Jose Iglesias, JD Martinez, their first selection. And Miggy going for the 10th time.
Now Gibson will face JD.
That game's on Fox. You didn't know that, right?
I did know that. Tuesday night in Cincinnati. Martinez 12 home runs in his last 18 games. 25 for the year for JD. And Gibson missed there. 2 balls, no strikes. So Mike Trout now has tied up his teammate Albert Pujols to lead the American League, 26 homers. Then Martinez second with 25. The 2-0. Couldn't hold up. 2-1.
But the power for guys like Manny Machado and Mike Trout has come quickly. Both guys, when they first came up, had power, but they hit more doubles than they did home runs. But the last couple of years, both guys have really learned how to reach the seats.
2-2 now on Martinez.
Machado a couple of years ago was on pace to have like 60 doubles or something like that.
He's a good player. He's battled injuries, though.
And many believe that those doubles would turn into home runs, which they have. 19 of those this year for Manny Machado, and he's in the home run hitting contest on Monday.
Did he go? Strike called by home plate umpire Mark Wegner. 2 outs in the 4th.
And Mark Wegner needed no help from the first base umpire, Mike Winters.
That'll bring up Avila. In your scouting days, could you tell just by looking at a kid physically what his ceiling might be in terms of home runs and power, or was it more his swing?
You could speculate. I mean, you could always see bat speed in a young kid. And especially when a kid goes from the aluminum bat to the wood bat, you can see how the ball comes off of his bat. But you project size. You kind of project young kids and filling out and getting bigger and stronger. If they're driving balls at 17 with a wooden bat, then you can expect them to do the same thing at age 20 with a wood bat. So I think it's more so the guy getting that bat out of the aluminum, getting away from the aluminum to the wood, that really allows you to dictate whether a guy's going to be a good player or not.
Is that why the Cape Cod League is a pretty good indication of what guys are going to be?
No question, because you always have the best pitchers in the country going to the Cape Cod League. So if you hit in that league, there's a pretty good indication that you're going to be able to hit good big league pitching, and also vice versa. If you pitch well there, they believe that you'll be able to pitch at a high level in the minor leagues and possibly get to the big leagues.
Avila behind in the count 1-2. He struck out in the second.
The Cape Cod League is also a league that can expose you too.
True.
You can go there and you can think you're hot stuff, but after 3 weeks you realize, man, maybe I'm not cut out for this.
Swing and a miss. Avila strikes out. All of a sudden, that's 5 punch on a for Gibson. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th. fourth here at Target Field in the series finale. Some news and notes from around the major leagues. How about Chris Sale? 131 strikeouts since May 12th, which is 27 more than any other pitcher in that span.
His arm slot that he throws from and the speed on velocity on the slider and fastball kind of separate him from most left-handers.
D. Gordon will miss the All-Star game, dislocated thumb. That's too bad. He'll be replaced by Tulowitzki, and Santiago, Kershaw, and Braun have also been named as replacements.
Head first slide by D. Gordon into first base.
He was having a great year. So here come the Twins now. Trevor Plouffe starts it on. We'll ground that one foul. What did guys like Ricky Henderson, who did nothing but slide head first into second base, never get that happen or have that happen to him?
That is a great question. Obviously, he mastered the art of sliding head first.
The 0-1. Plouffe swings and misses 0-2. Rosario and then Hicks to follow. We're in the fourth inning. 2-run shot by Miguel Sano in the first inning, accounting for all of the Minnesota runs. Green also walked 2 batters in the second, but one of them, Hicks, was caught stealing on a busted hit and run. Two and 2. Plouffe 0 for 1 with a ground out. 4 hits plus an RBI in the series. Another good young hitter. Rosario waiting on deck. Drilled to right field. JD is on the move, still going back. Edge of the warning track to make the catch. 5 in a row retired by the right-hander. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag DetroitDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's Eddie Rosario. He's not quite as heralded as the other rookies they've had come up, guys like Buxton and Sano, but Rosario very quietly having a decent season here, very solid season in his first opportunity in the big leagues.
I told you that Oswaldo Arcia, who they were much higher on at the beginning of the season than Rosario, can't get back up to the big leagues because they like the way this young man plays the game.
And what a grand entrance he had to the major leagues. And the first pitch he saw as a big leaguer from Scott Kazmir, he hit it out. His first big league home run, he has 4 at this point. One ball, 2 strikes on Rosario. Hicks waiting on deck. Rolled foul, first base side. Green has retired 5 in a row since giving up that double to Santana the second. Twins have had the better scoring opportunities. They lead 2-1. Drilled to center field, goes on the run again. Still going, not going to get this one. He'll go all the way to the wall. Rosario will hit the bag at second. He's coming to third. And he's in there standing up with a 1-out triple.
It's a ball that Avila wanted up a little higher to Rosario with 2 strikes. Green didn't get it up as high as he should have, and this turns into the 3rd triple of the season for the rookie Rosario.
Twins have a double, a triple, and a homer already in this game.
Yeah, Avila wanted that fastball up. He motioned to Green to get it up, but Shane did not get it up where he needed to get it.
Tigers pull the infield in against Aaron Hicks. 1 out, runner at third. Ball 1 to Hicks. He walked in the second. That is 3 Minnesota hits in this ball game. Inside, good stop by Avila, who had to go skidding onto his knees. 2-0 the count. Twins came into this game having won 7 of their last 10. They are keeping pressure on the Royals and staying ahead of the Tigers in the process. Lined right by Ian Kinsler into center field, a base hit. That'll score the run. Rosario comes in, 3-1 Minnesota.
The count is 2 balls and no strikes. So if you're hit, you know you're going to get a fastball from Green in that situation. And with the infield playing in Kinsler, no chance at knocking that one down.
9th RBI for Hicks. Eric Fryer walked in his first at bat. Keep an eye on Hicks at first base. Bouncer to third, foul. Another good pickup. Another souvenir. 2 for 2 now. Well, 2 for 3, I guess. 2 for his last 2.
Looking like Miguel Cabrera, chopping it up with the fans.
Here's a bunt. Oh, and a beauty. Forget about it. The catcher, Eric Fryer, lays one down, and he's aboard. Can't do it much better than that.
No, it's just perfectly executed. Shane Green kind of falls off toward first base side, so he gets it down the third baseline. Castellanos was also playing very deep, not expecting the bunt, so the element of surprise caught the Tigers off guard, and a beautiful bunt laid down by Fryer.
Five hits now for Minnesota. They have 2 on, 1 out. And Santana looks at a ball outside.
Santana has outstanding numbers in his career against Tigers pitching, but he is also one of those guys that will bunt for a base hit if you give him way too much room. And this season batting .222, but the numbers much better. And when the Tigers show up.
Double, did not score back in the second. Swing and a miss. The Twins' bottom of the lineup yesterday was huge in their 9-5 victory. Their last 3 hitters knocked in 6 runs yesterday. Here's Santana in his career against the Tigers, .336. It's the bottom of the order, getting it going again here in this one in the 4th inning. High fly ball right field. JD going back to the track, to the wall. Can't get it up against the wall. He'll run it down. 1 run scores. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. 2 runs will score. And Santana ends up at third.
Every time Shane Green makes a mistake over the plate, the Minnesota Twins have been able to barrel him up. That was a breaking ball that stayed up, and the light hitting. Santana has already doubled and now tripled in the game, and he is driven in 2. And once the ball gets over J.D. Martinez's head, it's a triple all day, every day for Santana.
Second triple in the inning. Santana actually stopped around second, then went to third base. 5-1 Minnesota. Two triples, 2 singles in this inning. And it's turned into a 3-run fourth. There's still only 1 out for Brian Dozier trying to knock in a run. Tigers again forced to pull the infield in. Fouled straight back. Dozier was up there in the second inning with runners at second and third and 2 outs and popped up. He is 0 for 2 in this game. Rolled foul. Now he's behind in the count 0-2. There is action in the bullpen. Alex Wilson is warming up for Detroit. Here's the 0-2. Dozier fouls it back out of play and stays alive. 5 runs on 6 hits now for the Twins. 1 run, 2 hits for Detroit. Got out in front of that one and pulled it way foul to the upper deck. Shane Green about to throw his 70th pitch. And another foul. Look out. That one went right by the on-deck hitter, Torrey Hunter. So Dozier battling here with 2 strikes in the count. Twins got a 2-run shot from Sano in the first. They've added 3 more here. Danny Santana with a 2-run triple. He just has pounded Tigers pitching since the start of last year. High fly ball, center field. Ghost coming in. He's got a good arm. Runner tags. They're going to try and score him. Ghost's throw coming to the plate. Off target. Santana scores. And it's 6-1 Minnesota. RBI for Dozier is 50th of the year.
2 good arms in the outfield, but Anthony Ghost probably had the best angle at having a chance to throw out the speedy runner, Danny Santana. Yoenis, had he caught it, he would have had to turn his body, redirect back toward the plate to get Santana. As it turned out, it didn't matter who caught it.
This is a 4-run inning as Torrey Hunter stands in. Base is empty now. And Torrey sends a slow ground ball to second. Kinsler has it there. And the inning is over. It's a big one, though, for Minnesota. doing heist today, apparently, for the New York Mets. Not one, not two, but 3 home runs today.
He came in batting under 100. His batting average was at .91 before that first homer today. So good day for Kurt Neuenheim.
Well, the Tigers, unfortunately, now find themselves down by a few more runs as we go to the 5th inning. It's now 6-1 in our ball game.
Usually that would be no problem with Kyle Gibson on the mound. The Tigers have pretty much had their way against Gibson in his big league career, but he's pitching with much more confidence, just as the Minnesota Twins are playing with much more confidence against the Tigers the last 2 days.
Castellanos looks at ball 1. He reached on a throwing error, fielder's choice throwing error by the catcher Fryer. 246 for Nick. Bouncing ball to third. Another baseball pounded right into the ground for round number 1.
It's either a ground ball or it is either a strikeout these days for Gibson. Here are the career numbers that I was speaking of. He has lost 4. He has won 2. The ERA was approaching 6 before today.
Here's Mark Krause. Krause knocked in the game's only run with a fielder's choice. The Tigers' only run, I should say. That happened back in the 2nd. His 2nd RBI as a Tiger. His first came on the home run he hit in his first at bat. And now we see Plouffe heading over to the right side. In there for a strike. 1-1. Anthony Gose will follow. Tigers today have been out hit 6-2, outscored 6-1. And a strike called on the outer edge. 1-2. Gibson struck out 2 in the 3rd, 2 more in the 4th. There's Gose waiting his turn. Here's the 2-2. Drilled toward the gap in right center field and caught on the run by Hicks.
Hicks made that look easy in center field,
didn't he? He got there really without breaking a sweat.
He's an outstanding defender. He's off the crack of the bat, direct line to the baseball. I thought it had gap written all over it when it left Krause's bat.
2 gone. Here's Anthony Gose. 1-1 on Gose.
Chevrolet brings you the high strength steel. Anthony Gose taking a double away from Joe Mauer earlier in the game.
What a great play. That kind of set the tone early, but then the Twins rebounded by scoring 4 in the 4th. Anthony shoots one to right field, and it's going to drop. Base hit. 2-out single for Gose. They'll keep it going for Iglesias.
Shortstop number 1, Jose Iglesias.
5-3 ground out in his first at bat. Jose came in still 4th in the American League in hitting.
Which player has surprised you the most up until the All-Star break this year from an offensive standpoint in the Tigers roster?
I would go with Iglesias 1, Gose 2, but certainly Iggy first. Runner going and a bouncing ball foul.
Yeah, I did so as well. I took Iglesias over several guys just for what he does on both sides of the ball. Iggy has made 8 errors this year, and I will say of the 8, 4 of those have been kind of, mental mistakes. That's the one thing he needs to shore up the second half of the year. Great defender, but he has made some some miscues on some plays he should have made.
Do you think that's part of the territory with a guy that plays with a little bit of flair or a little flash like Iglesias does?
I guess I couldn't disagree with that. But one of the things that has really impressed me with Iglesias overall is the fact that there are a lot of guys that make those flashy plays like he does, and they mess up the routine plays.
Right.
But he usually makes the routine plays. But as I mentioned, there have been a few instances this year where he's been a little lackadaisical on the defensive end. But for a guy to miss the entire 2014 season to come back and do this, I mean, there's a reason why this Tigers defense is much improved. .975 fielding percentage.
Gibson ahead of the count 0-2. Ghost draws another throw. The base hit here by Anthony Ghost is the first Tigers hit since the leadoff single in the second by J.D. Martinez. Another toss. Iglesias earlier this year fell a double short of hitting for the cycle against these Twins. That was back in late April. Bouncing ball slowly toward third. They'll go to first for the out. Inning over. Tigers baseball today from Minneapolis, presented by Bell Tire. A remarkable turnaround here in Minneapolis and really ride the first 10 or 11 games the Tigers facing Minnesota. These are for the Twins early on and the Twins now. It's been a big difference.
Yeah, the last 14 innings and 23 runs scored by the Minnesota Twins, and their batting average nearly 500 against Tigers pitching. That started with that comeback on Friday night in the 9th inning.
Joe Mauer leads it off against Shane Green, who surrendered 4 runs in the 4th. 6 runs, 6 hits now for Minnesota. 1 run, 3 hits for the Tigers. Mauer, Sano, and Plouffe. Mauer is 0 for 2. Robbed by Anthony Ghost earlier in the game. That'll back him out of there, and the count now is 1 ball, 1 strike. Mauer trying to extend his hitting streak. It stands at 8 consecutive games. Two and one. Mauer at home plate. The manager, Paul Molitor, in the dugout, and Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire, all went to the same high school.
Did they really?
They all went to Cretin-Durham Hall High School in St. Paul. And it was also the same high school that produced another big league umpire, Tim Cheetah.
That's a good school then.
The 2-2 was fouled back out of play. So St. Paul producing some big league talent, whether it's umpires, managers, players.
Paul Molitor is in the Hall of Fame, and when Joe Mauer left their campus, he was Gatorade High School Player of the Year in football and baseball.
Yeah. Well, Florida State was his destination.
Yes.
Before the Twins signed him up, way inside to the backstop it goes. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Wenke, the other former quarterback, also went to Cretin-Durham Hall High School. Sano waiting on deck. Now the 3-2. Mauer drives it foul back out of play. Mauer now is 3 out of 15 in the series, has a double. On the ground to second, and on the backhand there, Kinsler will throw him out.
When Shane Green was demoted down to the minor leagues, he made 5 starts down there, and they told us the breaking ball had gotten better, but he hung one here in the very first inning. That one was to Sano. Sano played long ball, and then he also hung another breaking ball to Danny Santana, who wears out Tigers pitching, and he drove in a couple, so he needs to make sure that he continues to work on getting that slider down, because when he's hung up here today, they haven't missed him.
4 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks for Green. Sano couldn't hold up. And it took Mike Winters down at first base to call that strike. 2-run shot for Sano is second. He hit 15 homers in the minor leagues this year at Double-A Chattanooga. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A couple of years ago, before Paul Molitor came to the big leagues, he was a minor league roving instructor, and he saw Sano in the minors. He believes that he can play some third base if you need him to play there, although Sano did make 15 errors in limited playing time in Double-A before coming to the big leagues this season. But it's his bat that plays, and they love his power.
We were joking the other day about Sano playing shortstop, but when he first was signed, he actually did play a little bit of short. Signed as a 16-year-old, made his debut as a 17-year-old. And he's down on strikes, 2 gone.
A much better slider here thrown by Green. These don't get hit. Disguised that one very well. If he could find some consistency with that pitch, not only would it be a good pitch for him against right-handers, but it would help his numbers against left-handed batters go down as well.
Second strikeout for Shane Green as he misses inside to Trevor Plouffe.
He's been pitching more aggressively inside in this inning. A lot of fastballs inside to Mauer, and before getting him to ground out weakly to Kinsler, and he starts Plouffe off with a real good firm fastball inside.
Drilled to left field. Cespedes on the move. That ball is over the fence into the bullpen and gone. a laser of a home run, and the Twins add another. Plouffe hits his 11th.
Well, it's been the slider, and that has hurt Shane Green here this afternoon. Every time he makes a mistake with one of those sliders, the Minnesota Twins have hammered it. 2 homers on the slider and a triple.
So the Twins have lengthened their lead to 7-1. And on a tee there for Trevor Plouffe. That's going to be it for Shane Green. Wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back to Target Field. The Minnesota Twins Tigers have gone to the bullpen now. The left-hander is Ian Kroll.
Ian Kroll has pitched in 13 games here in the big leagues this year. A total of 12 2/3 innings. The earned run average is not very good. It's over 7. But Kroll does have decent stuff. His fastball's been clocked at about 95, 96. Decent breaking ball, decent changeup. Needs to figure some things out here second half of the year.
So Shane Green coming back from Toledo, and the numbers will look like this today. His line is complete. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs all earned. And a couple of home runs, one by Sano, one by Plouffe. Eddie Rosario will bat with 2 outs. Swings right through it, 0-1. Kroll was recalled prior to the start of the Seattle series. Joined the team at Safeco Field. That'll miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's kind of been a revolving door all season regarding that Tigers bullpen.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, for Kroll, this has been his 3rd stint now, or this is his 3rd stint with the Tigers.
We've seen Buck Farmer a couple different times.
Drilled to center field, goes on the move. It's going to drop. Base hit. 2-out single. Well, there's really no shock as to what's going on here as far as the Tigers' pen is concerned. Look at what they've done the last 2 months.
Yeah, that month of May was very good because the Tigers starters were going deep in games, and Brad Ausmus was able to kind of manipulate that bullpen into bringing in the guys that were hot, the guys that were pitching well, and that's why the 2.05 ERA in the month of May. But Brad admitted yesterday that here we sit, Mario, July 12th, and he really has no defined roles in his bullpen.
I'm not sure I've ever been around a team other than Soria, obviously. There are no defined roles, and I'm not sure I've been around a team that's been in that shape.
I mean, 3 months in, and he really doesn't know who the best guy is for the 7th or the 8th, or even that bridge inning, which would be the 6th.
Pulled into left field. Base hit for Hicks. Rosario goes to second. That's 3 straight hits after 2 were retired here in the 5th. And the bottom of the lineup continues to get it done for Minnesota. Here's Eric Fryer. who bunted his way on, and that turned out to be a huge at bat in the fourth because it set up a 2-run triple by Santana. Strike one on Fryer. Been on base twice in this game. Walk in a bunt single. High fly ball, right field. Get him out of the inning. J.D. Martinez under it. And the side retired, but another run in on the fluke home run. Has been pretty good so far. 5 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. He has thrown 74 pitches so far. And again, it's the bottom part of the lineup for the Twins getting it done. 5 through 9 is 8 for 12 in this game.
And they've woken up, that much is for sure. Every mistake that's made by a Tigers hitter, pitcher, last couple of days, Minnesota's barreled it up, and a lot of extra base hits.
Here is Kinsler, the top of the lineup for the Tigers here, down 7-1 as we go to the 6th. Ian looks at a strike 0-1. Kinsler 1 out of 2, single and a strikeout.
And Kyle Gibson 12 of 19 in first pitch strikes so far this afternoon.
Here's a base hit to left field. Second hit of the game for Kinsler. That'll bring up Cespedes.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. And top fastball so far thrown by Gibson this afternoon has topped out at 94 miles an hour.
Yoenis a double play ball and a strikeout. He taps that one foul 0-1. Gibson's last start against the Tigers, he went 7 innings allowing 1 run, 5 hits, but took a no decision in a 2-1 loss. Today he has scattered 4 hits, allowing just a run in the second to this point. Drilled to center field. Hicks is there for the out. 1 gone.
They say that Gibson this year is much more consistent. He won 13 ball games last year, but he lost 12. In the 13 wins, the ERA was under 2. But in those losses, his earned run average was around 7. But he has found more consistency this year, staying away from the big inning.
So now Martinez was supposed to put the ball in the air twice to center field in this game. And Victor now 3 out of 14 of the series.
And Victor was bounced from the game yesterday, had an early exit. You don't see that very often. You don't see Victor get all that upset about pitches that he thinks are out of the strike zone.
This looks like a double play, and it's another twin killing for the Twins.
That's number 21 this year by Kyle Gibson.
Here in Minneapolis, been a rough first half for the Tigers and their skipper Brad Ausmus, and Dave Dombrowski earlier today gave his feelings on his manager and his team.
Anytime you don't win and meet the expectations of what people are saying, they point to figures at certain individuals, which includes the manager. But I think Brad has done fine. He's hardworking, he's well prepared, he's knowledgeable, he continues to grow as a manager.
The Tigers again finding themselves down in this one 7-1. Certainly there's no secret that coming out of the gates quickly in the second half, Ron, I think is something the Tigers are going to have to do.
And it's only going to happen if the pitching sorts itself out. And you have to have really good, consistent starting pitching if you're going to go on a lengthy run. And they definitely need to win about 8 to 10 games coming out of the break to get back in the division.
Santana will start things off, then Dozier and Hunter. We're in the bottom of the 6th here at Target Field.
And Brad will be able to get away from the game for a little bit, just like everybody else. Told me that he's going to go home for only one day, then he has to go and watch. Well, not that he doesn't want to go. He's going to watch his daughter play some softball, like most dads do this time of year. If your kids are in some kind of a sport, you're going to go watch them.
2-1 on Santana. He'll get back out of play. Big 2-run triple for Santana in the 4th. He's already doubled and tripled in this game. 4-run 4th inning, the biggest frame so far for the Twins. Again, out of play. I don't know what it is about Tigers pitching, but Santana, even in a season this year where he struggled, just seems to swing it when the Tigers show up.
Yeah, he does play with a lot of confidence against Detroit.
And the big hits, and the big comeback in the 9th inning 2 nights ago. And Santana now has driven in 6 in this series. Two balls, 2 strikes on the number 9 hitter. Twins trying to win their 31st game at home this year. They came in at 30-16. swing and a miss. They finally got Santana 1 out. Well, when you look at the division, the Tigers right now are trailing by 8, but it's the wild card that I think you need to focus on. Right now, the Tigers are 3 out of the wild card.
All of a sudden, the Angels have taken over the Houston Astros?
Yeah, the Angels are putting out a charge.
Wow.
The Astros percentage points actually a half-game lead in the division. It's going to be another wall-side windows pitching change. We'll be back to Minneapolis. The Twins on top of the Tigers as we play in the bottom of the 6th inning. And we've got a new pitcher for the Tigers. It'll be Al Albuquerque.
Al has been pitching some really good baseball the last couple of months. And that earned run average on the road sits at 1.17. Overall ERA is shade under 3 at 2.84. 38 strikeouts for Al, which is 1 per outing.
Ryan Dozier will face him with 1 out. Kroll goes 2/3. Dozier a sac fly and a pop up and a ground out. He's got 50 RBIs now on the year. Albuquerque's fastball missing outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It was announced yesterday afternoon during the game when Dozier was playing second base that he had made the All-Star team. So all 35,000 fans that were in attendance had a chance to give him a nice standing ovation.
Certainly deserved. A couple of walk-off home runs on the same homestand. Became the first Twin to do that. They'll pull that one toward left field. Cespedes moving over. 2 gone.
One of the things that you anticipate as a left fielder when Dozier is in the batter's box, and he's going to hit the ball to you. Just about every time he puts the ball in the air, it's to left field. And Cespedes got a pretty good jump on that line drive down the left field line.
Torrey Hunter is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Bouncing ball foul.
Here are those wild card standings again. Minnesota, Houston, Detroit. Detroit sitting 3 back.
There's the ball high. 1-1 to Hunter is fouled straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. Here's a strike call. Got him looking. And Torrey Hunter is punched out of there. 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the 7th. Gather in Cincinnati, the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 Major League Baseball All-Star Game begins Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So as we go to the 7th inning here, Kyle Gibson goes back to the hill. He had a 5-pitch 6th. And induced yet another double play ball. It'll be J.D. Martinez, Alex Avila, Nick Castellanos. Gibson brings it home and throws strike 1.
And a little front door breaking ball there thrown by Gibson. Started it off the plate inside. And Castellanos thought the ball was still inside, but apparently it was good enough to call a strike.
Swing and a miss. 0-2 on J.D. Martinez. He has scored the only Tigers run today after singling to lead off the 2nd. Ball 1. 1-2 on Martinez. Gibson last year won 13 games, but his ERA was 4.5 in his 31 starts. The ERA has gone down this year. Checked it. 2-2 the count.
Gibson does a very nice job for the most part of keeping the ball in the ballpark. Ground ball pitcher. 2.5 ground balls for every fly ball thrown this year.
It's gone 3-2 now. Well, that pretty much says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
10 ground ball outs. Here's the 3-2. He walked him.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. Already a couple of double plays thrown today. Off Tigers' bats. 5-4-3 with one, 1-6-3 the other. When he's not striking them out and getting ground balls, he's just moving the ball around the plate with outstanding action on everything. Everything buried at the bottom of the strike zone this afternoon for Kyle Gibson.
Avila has struck out twice in this game. They play him to pull. And ball one missing away. Tigers get the leadoff man on for the third time, make it the fourth time in this game. That is in for a strike. 1-1.
Changeup, breaking ball, two-seam fastball.
Here's the 1-1. Avila swings right through it. Fastball up. 1-2 on Alex. Castellanos waiting on deck. Action in the bullpen. Trevor May, Brian Dunsing. Just off the corner. That is actually O'Rourke out there. There's O'Rourke and May. And the 2-2. Ooh, he took another close one. Full count now on Avila. .90 now for Gibson. And he walked him. Boy, Avila working that at bat. Back-to-back walks here in the seventh. That'll bring up Castellanos. And we'll get a visit to the mound now.
And first two walks of the afternoon, and thrown by Kyle Gibson. Neil Allen is the new pitching coach here. And with Paul Molitor, it had been Rick Anderson for a long time, 10 or 11 years, Ron Gardhire, but a new voice now for the pitching staff. And so far, so good this year for Twins pitching.
Well, here is Castellanos.
And we'll see if Castellanos is up there swinging at the first pitch after a couple of back-to-back walks by Gibson. Usually he is swinging at the first pitch when there's runners in scoring position.
And he swings but misses 0-1. He's put the ball on the ground twice in this game. Gibson is looking for that very same result. He got a double play in the first. Got another one in the sixth. Low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back-to-back walks. Tigers trying to threaten here in the seventh and get back into this game. They're down 7-1.
When you have that one signature pitch that gets you as many ground balls as Gibson's able to throw, you're never really in a jam.
Ground ball to short. Santana to second, one relay to first is a double play.
There you have it.
6-4-3.
It's a two-seam fastball upstairs that crowds Castellanos. He hits it on the ground. He knows it's 2 as soon as it leaves his bat.
Now Krause will step in with a runner at third, and Gibson now has induced 22. These are updated numbers.
Well, the Tigers hitting in the double play is not necessarily foreign to the team. They've grounded into 97 this year, or hit into 97 twin killers, which paces the majors.
Krause 0 for 2. His ground ball produced a run, the only Tigers run so far, back in the second. The 0-1. Last time up, hit a ball hard that Aaron Hicks ran down in center field. Looked like he was headed to the wall for a double. Two balls, one strike. So Gibson now is approaching 100. He's at 97 for the game. Strike called, a high strike that Krause did not like. 2-2.
You don't quite know where the strike zone today is of Wegner. He's called some balls that have been up. He's called the balls down. Pretty big strike zone today.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Tigers put the first two men on, but failed to score. We go to the stretch in Minneapolis. Brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. Pixels in theaters July 24th. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Back here in Minneapolis. Well, the Twins have the lead, and the Tigers in danger of falling to 500 going to the break. Here's what's coming out of the break for the Tigers. The Orioles and Mariners at home, and then the Red Sox to start a 10-game road trip. The Tigers trailing the O's right now in that wild card chase. So, as we've talked about, Rod, the first week of the second half apparently is going to be very important now for this team.
Well, apparently the Tigers will have their rotation set coming out of the break. It'll be Price. It'll be Anibal Sanchez, followed by Justin Verlander going up against the Baltimore Orioles in that weekend series.
Rondon will come on now for the Detroit Tigers.
And Rondon, his stuff is much better than the numbers he has posted in 8 games, logging 6 innings. The ERA is over 10 with 10 strikeouts and 3 base on balls. He's got a fastball that gets up to 100 miles an hour, but the one thing that he needs to concentrate on moving forward is getting ahead with that first strike so he can expand the strike zone to get the opposition to chase some balls out of the zone.
Rajai Davis will take over in left field. Cespedes out of the game. Joe Mauer leads it off. Rondon throws high, 1 ball, no strikes. Mauer, Sano, Plouffe in the 7th inning. Tigers have gone with Kroll and Albuquerque out of the bullpen. Now Bruce Rondon. Mauer looks at the ball high. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, Bruce had a tough night a couple of nights ago in that implosion for the Tigers, pen in the 9th. Gave up a single, a double, and then another base hit. Soria had to come on, and of course the 3-run homer by Dozier eventually won it. Justin Verlander pitched so marvelously in that game. As good as we have seen JV in a long time, but got nothing as a reward. The 2-1. Mauer had a nice rip. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Miguel Sano waiting on deck. Mauer today, a couple of ground balls and a flyout. He had a double taken away and a great diving catch in left center field by Gose in the 1st inning. Twins once again set the tone early on the 2-run homer by Miguel Sano in the 1st.
Yeah, after that great play by Anthony Gose, it looked like Shane Green was going to get out of the 1st inning unscathed.
Shane Green roughed up today, gave up the 2 in the 1st, then a big 4th inning as well. 4-run fourth.
7 earned runs given up by Shane Green today in 4 2/3 innings of work.
Rondon strikes out Mauer.
Let's take a look at the big boy, big play of the game turned in by Miguel Sano. He's only been in the big leagues a couple of weeks, but he's made his presence known. 0-2 breaking ball thrown by Green, hit out of the ballpark for a 2-run shot. And the Minnesota Twins haven't looked back since.
Sano's 2nd of the year, 4th hit in the series. He's had a couple of doubles and a homer. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. .389 now for Sano. Rondon could be such an integral part of this bullpen, Rod. And when he came up, he was pitching the 8th inning, and Brad fell short of calling him the 8th inning guy because he probably didn't want to put too much pressure on him. But if this guy can lock down an inning, whether it's the 7th or 8th late, that would be huge.
He is what most managers love to have coming out of your bullpen, a guy that has the ability to get you a strikeout in a high leverage situation. But the issue with Rondon has been when he comes in, he falls behind, and then the opposition, they know they're going to get that fastball, and that's when they've been able to do some damage against Bruce. But once he figures it out, there's no doubt he'll be very valuable to the Tigers' pen.
And the 1-2. 2-2 on Sano. Trevor Plouffe on deck. He is homered in this game. Grounded foul, 3rd base side. Sano was rated the 11th best prospect in all of baseball coming into this season by MLB.com.
A couple of years ago, when he had 35 home runs in a couple different levels in the minor league system of the Twins, he was rated higher than Carlos Correa, the shortstop of the Astros, and Chris Bryant, the third baseman of the Chicago Cubs.
Pretty good group. Slowly to third. Nick throws him out. 2 up, 2 down. Trevor May warming up in the bullpen. Today, calling all Eastern Michigan University alumni, students, and fans. Get a Tigers hat in EMU colors and a ticket to see the Tigers play the Mariners July 22nd, 7:08 start. When you buy a special ticket package exclusively at tigers.com/EMU. See you at the ballpark. Plouffe looks at ball 1. Solo shot in the 5th inning signaled the end for the starter Shane Green today. That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Meanwhile, the Tigers have been limited to just 4 hits by Kyle Gibson, who's had 3 double plays turned behind him. Driven to second base on a hop. Kinsler had him played nicely. And he'll throw out Plouffe. Rondon, a 1-2-3 7th inning. Let's go to the 8th at Target Field. Of Harmon Killebrew out in front of the ballpark here. 7-1 is our score as we go to the top of the 8th. Here's the upcoming matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety. Coming out of the All-Star break, the Orioles will be in town, and here's how the Tigers will line up in that Orioles series.
Surprisingly, Jimenez is pitching much better than a lot of the other starters in the Baltimore Orioles organization. We talked about Sanchez, Price, and Verlander going in the first 3 games for the Tigers.
Meanwhile, the new right-hander is Trevor May, who's pitching out of the bullpen these days.
72 strikeouts on the season for May. Only 18 base on balls, so you need to be ready to hit that baseball when you step in the batter's box. He's going to give you something good to hit.
When Irvin Santana came back to the rotation, May went to the bullpen, and Trevor has appeared in 2 games on this homestand. He's been the recipient of 2 walk-off home runs from Dozier for a couple of wins.
Good karma.
Real good karma. Anthony Gose will start things off as we go to the top of the 8th. 7-1. Minnesota has the lead in this one. Goes Iglesias Kinsler facing May, so give Gibson 7 innings of work in this one for the Twins. Ball one inside to Anthony Gose. One on Gose. Anthony in the ball game is single and a ground out. David Price trying to keep JD cool.
Good teammate. Whatever he can do to help.
1-2. It is a steamy, hot day here today. It's more the humidity, I think, than anything else.
Starting to get a lot warmer here as we approach the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah, the sun now is breaking through the clouds, which has made it much warmer. 2-2 on Gose. Iglesias waiting on deck. Tigers have not scored since getting one in the second on a fielder's choice ground ball. That's all they've been able to muster in this one today. Gose slaps one foul. Full count on Anthony. Gose extending his hitting streak with his single back in the 5th to 10 in a row, which is a career high for the Tigers center fielder. Again, the 3-2. Bouncing ball slowly left side of the infield. Fluke. Throw him out. One gone to the Tigers. You can follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or your tablets. Iglesias, couple of ground balls to third. He's 0 for 2. Strike call. Got any special plans for the All-Star break?
No, nothing too special.
No, good chill.
Yeah, relax.
That's always a good thing. The 0-1. 0-2. Tigers will have that homestand coming out of the break, which is a 7-gamer, but right on the heels of that, they'll go on the road for 10 in a row. Bouncing ball again to third base. Kloof has been busy. 2 gone.
A lot of ground balls when Kyle Gibson was in there, and now Trevor May. First couple of outs he's recorded have been via the ground ball.
Well, it's 84 right now. Here's that humidity we mentioned.
Yeah, that's where that heat's coming in at. Jose Iglesias is playing pepper with the third baseman today. He has grounded out the third 3 times today.
Kinsler looks at a strike, 0-1.
And that's not Iglesias. Iglesias will take that base hit the other way.
Anthony trying to stay cool as well.
He got some old-fashioned ammonia water down there today.
Right at the knees, a strike.
It's old school there. A little ammonia in the bucket with the ice. I remember those days.
They used to use like cabbage leaves in their hats.
I don't know about that, but I know that ammonia water came in handy.
He used to do some weird things.
On a day like today.
Right back up the middle. That'll be the 3rd hit of the game for Kinsler.
Well, he came to play today for sure.
Two-out single. So Rajai Davis will get his first at bat. He took over for Cespedes, who is out of the ball game. And Rajai takes a strike. Ground ball to third. Plouffe gobbles up another. And that'll be it for the Tigers here in the 8th. Nothing but ground ball outs.
One 800 call Sam call of the game after a rough outing just a couple of nights ago for Bruce Rondon. He came back today and made some quality pitches. He was able to strike out Joe Mauer. Got a weak ground ball off of the very talented rookie Miguel Sano, and a line drive one hopper to Ian Kinsler to retire Trevor Plouffe. So nice outing today for Bruce.
Well, it's 7-1 right now as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tigers go right back into the bullpen. It'll be the left-hander coming out, Blaine Hardy.
Hardy's one guy that probably is going to enjoy the All-Star break, pitching in his 39th game, and it seems like he's out there every single day.
Yeah, he and Wilson have really done a lot of work this year.
They will be couch potatoes during the All-Star break.
And enjoying it. First one is in for a strike. Eddie Rosario, the batter. He's had a nice day, single, triple. His average up to 285. Now quickly 0-2. Just got a piece of it. Rosario stays alive. Hardy follows Rondon, who followed Albuquerque, who followed Crow. Shane Green was bounced out of the game in the 5th inning, and this one allowing 7 runs. Swing and a miss. Hardy strikes him out. One gone. Let's get an update of what's coming up on Tigers Live. A preview with the baking in the sun, Mickey York.
It's a little warm down here. There's no question about that. Yeah, it certainly looks like this is going to be a tough way for the Tigers to go to the All-Star break. I'll take you into the clubhouse to hear from Brad Ausmus and the players. We'll have more of our conversation with Dave Dombrowski and look ahead to the start of the second half. Johnny Kane and Craig Monroe in the Coliseum studio after the game for Tigers Live. Guys.
All right, big thanks. It's starting to look well done, so find some cover.
Yeah.
One out now as Hardy goes back to work against Aaron Hicks, who looks at a strike.
This is Blaine Hardy's 39th appearance out of the Tigers bullpen. Alex Wilson has made 31, so 70 between the two. And neither guy were on the opening day roster when they left Florida this year.
Well, it's been that kind of season for the bullpen. I mean, it's been really unpredictable. The guys they thought would be their cornerstones really have not been that. And we're talking about guys obviously like Gorslani and Java Chamberlain, who are no longer on the team. The two guys you mentioned certainly surprised us, taking advantage of their opportunities. That's popped up. First base side, who wants it? Hardy comes over, but Krause will make the play. 2 outs. Well, it's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Two outs for the catcher, Eric Fryer. On days like today, you've got to believe that the two toughest positions on the field have to be catcher and home plate umpire.
Yes, they have the most gear on.
They're involved in every single pitch, up and down, up and down.
I can tell you this much too, and with 100% certainty, it's not all that hot in that Minnesota Twins dugout right now. They got a 6-run lead. It's hot on Detroit's side.
Drilled down the left field line, foul. We were talking about ways to keep yourself warm in days like this. Players used to actually put frozen cabbage leaves in their caps, which obviously, you know, when you put the cap on, that keeps the heat in on a hot day, and that was one way to cool them down.
So that must have been before my era then too.
Yeah, it had to be. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore. But that was way back in the day. Here's the 2-1. It's high, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Now I know guys used to, when it was really cold out at the beginning of the season, guys would put some Vaseline on their feet, put socks on, then they would put a plastic bag over one sock, then put the other sock on to try to keep their feet warm.
Really?
Oh yeah.
How would you run like that?
Oh, it didn't matter.
No.
You wanted to stay warm.
Good point. It's in the air to center, and it's finally going to fall in the glove of Anthony Gose. 1-2-3 inning, which means we go to the 9th. Here, the Tigers, well, they haven't been able to get anything going most of the day. They're down 7-1 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Tigers down to the final 3 outs now. Brian Dozier being taken out of the game, so the fans can give him a nice round of applause. Heading to the All-Star game. It's a classy move by Paul Molitor. Escobar will come on and take his place.
Hey, go hard, come on.
Victor hits the first pitch to center field, and that one is going to be over the head of Hicks. And Martinez, as it bounces over the wall into the grass out there, will have himself a ground rule double.
One thing we know that Victor is going to do, regardless of what the score is, regardless of whether the All-Star break starts after this game, he's going to give you a quality at bat. He jumps on the first pitch fastball. Looked like Hicks in center field thought he had a beat on it. He was running slow at the beginning, and that ball just carried over his head, bouncing on the warning track.
12th double of the season for Martinez. Here's J.D. Martinez. Swing and a miss, 0-1. 6th hit of the afternoon for the Tigers. J.D. a single, a walk, and a run scored in this game. Fouled off, and the count 0-2. Ball high. May came on in the 8th inning, gave up a 2-out single, no damage though. After 7 strong from Kyle Gibson, who was trying to win his 4th in a row today. Bouncer right back to the mound. He knocked his glove off. May throws him out.
Ball hit sharply off the bat of J.D. Martinez. Another ground ball out for the Minnesota pitching staff. May didn't panic after the ball knocked the glove off. Simply went over to pick it up. Still had plenty enough time to throw J.D. out.
Here's Alex Avila. Strike called on Avila, who has walked and fanned a couple of times in this game. Tigers showing signs of life in the 7th when they got back-to-back walks to lead off the inning, but then Gibson again got a big double play ball, his 3rd induced in this game. Here's Mays 0-1. Pulled on the ground at first, knocked down by Mauer. Will fire to the pitcher, covering for the out. 2 gone.
Nice job by the pitcher. And first of all, May on the ground ball that knocked his glove off. He didn't panic. And Joe Mauer, and playing first base for the 2nd year consecutively every day, didn't panic on this ground ball. He knew with Avila running that all he had to do was get over and pick it up after he mishandled it. And his pitcher, May, would be there to help record the out.
So Castellanos the last chance for the Tigers. Nick looks at ball 1.
You talked about the 3 ground ball double plays that the Tigers hit into today. They hit into a whopping 14 ground ball outs total.
Nice.
So for a team that has a lot of guys that can elevate the baseball, not today.
Popped him up. Should do it. Right side of the infield, Escobar. And Minnesota wins 3 out of 4 against the Tigers headed to the All-Star break.
Tigers somehow, some way going to have to regroup after the break and come back from that demoralizing loss that they took on Friday here, because they've been reeling for the last 2 days.
Meanwhile, it appears the Twins are here to stay. They win it 7-1. We'll be back.